for us.
Yeah. And we are live. Another edition of Fixture Focus here on American Hammers Network. As always, I'm your host, Justin Wasik, signing in from the great city of Chicago here in the States. And today's episode, I am joined by Jamie from Leicester Fan TV.
Evening, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Jamie?
I'm great.
Doing well. Awesome. Yeah, you're joining us from Mallorca this evening.
I certainly am. I'm as we call them, a far-flung fox. So not quite as far as you, but a far-flung fox I am.
And I do see that someone from Leicester Fan TV is in the comments section. It's our Jamie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'll show it on
good.
the screen right here. Yeah.
That's either Phil or Locks, one of the two.
Well, whoever it is, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, speaking of Leicester Fan TV, of course, that's where you're from, as I just mentioned. And I always am interested. One of the reasons why I'm interested in speaking with opposing fans, and specifically opposing fans from other media channels, I'm always interested in the origin story, both how you became a City fan, but also how you joined Leicester Fan TV and sort of the origin and how Leicester Fan TV came to be about. So I'll let you take it wherever you want to start from, but just sort of interested in that origin story.
Yeah, I've been with I'm not one of the original content team. I've been with the Leicester Fan TV about 4 years now, and it started 11 years ago when we got relegated to League One. After that, it started around that, so about 2008-9. It started then when we got relegated to League One, and they were doing interviews, but then they couldn't do live interviews because there wasn't the technology to do live interviews like there is now. So the boss, Phil Holloway, he started it, like I say, 11, 12 years ago. And then we do content, we do ex-players, we do match reviews, we get fans on to come and talk to us. And it's just one of them things. It's because of this lockdown, we can't actually speak. Well, you're not meant to speak face-to-face to anybody. So this is the next best thing of having a face-to-face conversation. And it brings all the fans together. I mean, we've got the YouTube channel, we've got the Facebook, we've got the Twitter, we've got Instagram as well. And we're pushing nearly 5,500 on YouTube. We're never going to be massive. We're never going to be like Man U and Liverpool that have millions and millions of subscribers. But we're getting bigger. We're slowly getting bigger. The reach is about 120,000, 125,000 over all the social media sites. So we're getting there slowly. We're growing bigger and bigger each week, each month or so. So yeah, it's getting nice. But the bigger we get, the more content we'll have to do to keep them informed. But no, we're all enjoying it. So it's great. We love it, really. We love Leicester and we love doing this.
That's awesome. And for people that are not familiar with the channel, what types of content do you guys put out? I know you mentioned fan interviews, ex-player interviews. Are there anything else, other types of videos that you're doing or planning on doing?
We do live. We do 1, 2, 3, 4 live shows every week on a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Sunday. We do match show content before and after. We get the fans coming in. We have the ex-players on, which is great for me because I like there's me and Phil. We love the old school footballers coming on. The ones from the 80s and the 90s. It's a bit harder to get the newer ones the last 10 years because they're not really sure about coming on. And give them another 10 years and they'll probably want to come on. But it's great. And we do competitions, prize giveaways. We have free shirts to give away. They just enter and we give them away free and stuff like that. Match day tickets we've given away. People that can't get there, we've got tickets for them and given away. It's just one of them things. We're just helping the fans out, enjoying watching Leicester play a bit more from behind the scenes.
That's awesome, and that's the reason why I love these fan TV channels. Just getting fans together from all over the world, especially given the technology that we do have. It's incredible. And you mentioned something about growth and how you guys have grown over time. I'm interested in obviously the magical 2015, 2016, or 2015, 2016 season.
Yeah.
Where you guys won
the
league.
Think. What year was that? Oh yeah, when we won the league, yes.
Yeah, it was a story to behold, and I think it was one of those unique sports stories where everyone in the world, even if you weren't a fan of soccer or football, they were getting behind Leicester City. I think it was such a feel good story. I think there wasn't anyone that was rooting against you guys. So
No, I think there
first of
was.
all,
I think there was
oh really?
one not rooting for. I think that was Spurs, to be honest. I think Tottenham Hotspur weren't rooting for us. But other than that, you're right.
That is
Everyone was
true.
their second team. Yes.
And screw them. We're glad. I mean, we are so glad. Even more so that you guys won the league instead of them, because they would have just been absolutely insufferable if they had done it. But so two things about that season. One, just sort of describe from your personal point of view, just describe that describe that season, like when you realized, oh wow, like we actually may do this. So that's the first thing I want to ask you about. But then also, second thing, how has that season, because that season did put Leicester on the map, how did that season help the Leicester Fan TV channel grow, if at all?
For me personally, about that season, my story starts a little bit before then. I first started going down to watch Leicester at the old Filbert Street in 1977, and they weren't one of the best teams then, but you still went and followed them, and it's just grown and grown. And then we went to Wembley in the playoffs, and we went 7 times in 10 years to Wembley for the playoffs and cup finals as well. And we thought, right, this is as big as it's going to get. Then we had a few years in the doldrums. We got relegated, and then we won the championship. Then we won the championship. Then we had the Great Escape season. We thought, that's brilliant. We've stayed in the Premiership. And then I don't know what it was, but it just all clicked. For some reason, it just clicked that following year. Ranieri came in. He tinkered with the team a little bit. It was Nigel Pearson. Nigel Pearson don't get a lot of credit for what he did. It was his team, and Ranieri didn't really tinker with it, and he built it on, and we just went on and on. And everyone kept saying, oh, there's a saying, oh, the elephant's going to fall out of the tree. We don't know how it got there, but it's going to fall out eventually. And it never did. And the game where people started really thinking about it was the Man City one away at the Etihad, when we won 3-1. We were 3-0 up. And that's when people really noticed that Leicester were going to win. Even some of the so-called ex-players, pundits, the commentators were like taking notice of us. And then one of the big games was against West Ham, when we drew 2-2 at the King Power. Vardy got sent off, and we thought, oh no, here we go. And then Joao got a penalty. I think it was about the 110th minute. It felt like it anyway. And Joao scored 2-2, and then we thought, right, we've got this. But it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And in the bar, for months after, I was getting congratulations. I was like one of the ex-players. It was like, oh, well done, congratulations. Handshake here, handshake there, hugs it. Oh, I'm glad you won. What am I now? I'm 50, so that was when I was 45. So I was a 45-year-old Leicester man going bold. People were thinking I was an ex-player, looking like I won. People coming up, shaking my hand, congratulating me. But it was fantastic. And as for the growth, unfortunately, I joined Leicester Fan TV just after that season. I joined the next season.
Right.
But the growth has gone up more and more and more, slowly but surely. The content's gone up. The technology's got better, so we can use more technology to bring facts and figures in and graphics in and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's building. It's getting better for us. But winning the Premier League has got a lot of fans from worldwide as well. So it does help at all. It certainly does help.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. And that again, such a magical season. It was. I do remember that game versus West Ham. I do remember the penalty as well. It was.
There was 2 dodgy decisions, wasn't there?
Yeah. John Moss was the referee, so I mean, to be expected. But
let's not mention that name. He's banned in Leicester. He is.
Hey, I don't like him either, so we definitely don't have to mention him. Let's pivot towards the actual side this season. So last year had a very good season. I know it was a bit disappointing after the restart, especially given the fact that you guys started the restart in the Champions League spaces, finished 5th, which in my opinion should have still been a Champions League space. I don't really know how City got away with it. Manchester City got away with their ban. But finished 5th nonetheless, and I'm sure you would have taken that before the season started. Now, heading into this season, so obviously you guys are top of the league, I believe, as of now. 3
Yes.
wins from 3.
Yes, we are.
You guys have beat West Brom 3-0, Burnley 4-2, and then a great victory over Manchester City 5-2. What were the expectations for you personally before the season started, given the 5th place finish last year? And what has been the success to such a brilliant start to the season thus far?
Well, just going back onto the restart, like you say, we were 4th. We've been 4th for months. I don't know how many days it was. We were 4th. And then we just started. Man U were catching up slowly. And then on the last day of the season, Man U beat us 2-0 and pipped us to the last place. But in interviews, at the start of the season, people were saying, oh, let's get mid-table pushing for Europe. So they were hoping we'd finish 5th, 6th, 7th, because they get European places in the Premier League. So we're hoping for a mid-table plus. And even though I think the disappointing thing, like you say, was because we were 4th for so long, to lose out on the last day was the disappointing thing. But we still got Europe. And I don't think, personally, I'm not sure whether Leicester fans will agree with me on this, but I don't think going into the Champions League would have done us the world of good this year. Going into Europe in the Europa League is better for us, I think, personally, because it's in Europe, but it's not the high standard as the Champions League. So I think, and then pushing for this year, I was hoping for the quadruple, but we got knocked out by Arsenal in the League Cup the other day, in the Carabao Cup. So now we're just going for the treble. But now with their lack of games, because our strength in depth isn't fantastic, and lots of fans will say, Leicester fans will say, the strength in depth is not fantastic. So at the beginning, before the transfer window, we'd have been hoping mid-table, maybe pushing again for Europe and probably a decent run in one of the cups, maybe the Europa League and stuff like that, and the League Cup and the FA Cup, because our priority would have been Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, and then the League Cup. I think the League Cup's been a bit devalued now, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah, so they have been the order priority. The Premier League, we started, I could put it out, but no one expected us to beat West Brom 3-0, 4-2 Burnley. Man City, wow, just wow. I mean, some of the comments the Man City players after the game was disgraceful, saying we were lucky. You score 5 goals at the Etihad. Pep's never conceded it. That Man City haven't conceded 5 for 17 years, and we were lucky. We played off the park. The first 20 minutes, we didn't know what was going on, and then we realised Vardy had dropped back to try and nullify their midfield. So we kept pushing. And when they scored the first goal after 5 minutes or 3, whatever, I can't remember now. We thought, oh, here we go. But then it looked so defensive. But then after about 20 minutes, we started to play football and break them down. And they didn't have anything. They didn't know what to do. They really didn't know what to do with us. So from the first 20, 25 minutes where you're thinking, oh, God, what's going on, to the 90th minute when the final whistle went, it was just, we did a live show afterwards, straight afterwards. And Phil said, Jamie, what do you think? And I just went, wow, just wow. I didn't know what to say. Yeah. I mean, I was actually speechless. I'm not normally lost for words, but I just didn't know what to say. It was fantastic. It really was.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance. And what do you think you attribute to the success so far? Like, what do you think has been the top 1 or 2 reasons for such the brilliant start?
For the brilliant, that's a tough question actually, because we haven't really changed the way we were playing from the restart. We were playing the back, the side, the forward. We didn't play many forward balls. We were playing side to side. We were playing the possession. I think you'll find we only had 35%-ish possession, and we still managed to score 5 goals with 7 shots on target. And it's just we keep the ball well, and I think we're more of a patient team nowadays. The first half, we don't score. I think last year we scored something like 68 goals, and 40 of them, 42, 43, were scored in the second half. So far this year, we've scored 12, and 10 of them have been in the second half. So we like breaking teams down and then patiently break them down in the second half and then go bang, which is what we've been doing, and it's been great fun. And Vardy's on fire at the minute. Yeah, which is great.
He is. I think he leads. I think he's joint top scorer with Calvert-Lewin, I believe, with 5, if I'm not mistaken.
5. Unfortunately, 4 of them have been penalties, but it's you still got to put the ball in the back of the net, no matter how you get them in the back of the net.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and he's been. I mean, he won the Golden Boot last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been scoring them every which way. To be honest,
he was the oldest Golden Boot winner ever. At the age of 33.
How old is he?
Yeah, 33.
33. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he scores goals for fun. He's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. But one player that has impressed me so far, and I think he had a really good game against Manchester City, has been your new signing, Castagna or Castagni.
Castagna.
I don't know how to. Castagna. Okay.
Castagna. Like lasagna, but think of lasagna, think of the cuss at the front of it. Castagna.
Castagna. I think he's been superb. He's had a couple of assists so far. I mean, what do you think about him, and what do you think about the transfer business as a whole? I know you guys also had a big signing today. Wesley Fofana.
Yeah. Get on with him. I'll mention him in a minute. But to start off with, just go back to last year when we sold Harry Maguire for 80 million quid. 80 million. Man U paid 80 million for him. We've got a replacement already in our ranks that we paid 18 million for, Kaglar Soyuncu. And he's been such a performer. He's had massive performances. Yeah. And we actually got defensively better. We sold our so-called best defender to Man U for 80 million, and we improved defensively. Not many clubs can do that. We sold Ben Chilwell again for 50 million. I'm not sure he was worth either of them. I'm not sure we're both worth 80 and 50 million. Chelsea wanted to pay that. Fair enough. Chilwell, see you later. And we thought, right, we're going to be a bit short at left back. Then we bought Castagna. And we've improved again. We bought Castagna for half the price of Chilwell, 25 million, half the price, and we've got better. So what have we done? We've sold 130 odd million. We've bought 42 million pounds worth of talented, and we've got considerably better defensively. And today, it's been a bit of a long wound up. It's been awful. It's been 2 weeks of waiting and waiting. Is he coming? Yes, he's coming. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Finally today, Wesley Fofana signed for 30 million because Saint Etienne's manager was Claude Puel, who managed us 2 years ago. And he didn't want us to have him. He wouldn't mind him selling him to someone else, but he didn't want him to go to Leicester for some reason because the paper talk was he had issues with Leicester, Claude Puel. So I don't know about that. But the only thing with me is it's 30 million plus, but it's for a 19-year-old that's only played 30 games. They're building up something really big in France, saying that it's going to be the next best thing. His next best thing since sliced bread. I don't know. We've just got to wait and see. Hopefully, because sometimes it takes a bit of time for foreign players that come to the UK to settle in and bed in. So hopefully, we'll have to wait and see. But it looks a good talent. Anyone can look good on YouTube. Even you and me, Justin, could look good on YouTube, kicking the ball about. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. But hopefully, hits the ground running. I'm not sure whether he'll play on Sunday. He might play against the Hammers on Sunday, but we'll have to wait and see. We've also got, I can't pronounce his first name, but the Turkish lad, Kenga. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it. Looks like he'll be in the squad. He's got his international clearance, so he should be in the squad. Don't think he'll start, but he'll definitely be in the squad. So in all, the 2 weeks ago, we were having a bad transfer window. All of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, it's been a pretty damn good transfer. And there might be one more coming in, just under the radar a bit. Like Antonio Perez came in last year. No one knew anything about that. All of a sudden, the next day, Perez has signed for 30 million. So hopefully, there might be one just at the last moment. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it seems like Leicester have just consistently been able to make good, solid signings. They've invested the money, as you alluded to, with the 130 million quid from Chilwell and Maguire. It just seems like the players that have been signed have contributed in a positive way. They've really helped the side. What do you think is the success of the recruiting and the scouting teams? Is it simply just you guys have a good director of recruitment or good director of scouting? Is it more than that? Or
when Nigel Pearson was here a few years ago, we had a northern lad called Steve Walsh. He was excellent. He bought Riyad Mahrez for £300,000. He bought in Danny Drinkwater for £1 million. They bought Jamie Vardy in for £1,000,000. These players weren't playing. Mahrez was playing in second division football in France for Le Havre, I think it was pronounced, and he did.
Mhm.
They brought him in, and they've just gone from strength to strength. But then when Steve Walsh went to, I think where did he go? Blackburn? No, he didn't. He went up north. I can't remember where he went. He went up north to do the same job for someone else. Everton, that was who it was. Everton. He went up, and we got a bloke from Ranieri bought someone in. I can't remember his name, and we've had 2 or 3 pretty dodgy transfer windows. And John Rudkin, who's the director of football, has been there for years. He used to be in the academy, and then he's built up to director of football. Him, and we've got Lee Congleton. And the last couple of windows, we haven't had the best windows. Last January, all we got in was Ryan Bennett from Wolves, just one defender, and he never played until the restart. He didn't play his first game until the restart, even though we bought him in January and he wasn't injured. So there haven't been that. Lee Congleton hasn't been the best, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know whether Brendan Rodgers says, yes, I want him and I want you to go for him, or they bring the scouts in. I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but a lot of the fans, when we don't make signings, seem to Rudkin and Congleton. It's all hashtag Congleton out, hashtag Rudkin out. But again, it's the way we play football. We just have to be patient. We do the business on the pitch late in the game. It looks like we do the transfers late in the game as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you guys have those hashtags. While I mean, us over here at West Ham would die for any sort of scouting system. I mean, our system of scouting essentially entails David Sullivan, who has no footballing experience at all, getting recommendations from his agent friends, and going from there, and not really letting our manager have a say. And it's just a complete debacle over here. So it's interesting.
I mean, today you've signed. I can't pronounce his name. My pronunciation is a nightmare. You ask anyone on the content team, they throw me a name and I can't say it. Is he a Czech Republic lad? Is he?
Yeah, he's friends with and former teammates with Thomas Souček. Yeah, from Slavia Prague. Yeah, I forgot his first name. His last name is Kufal, I believe.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, he's a right back.
The ex-keeper still with you, Ludo McCloskey. Is he in the back room now doing scouting or something?
For them or for us?
For you, for West Ham, because he's ex-keeper, isn't he? And he's Czech. I didn't know whether he might have had. I don't know whether I've read something or heard something that that he got him to go over or something. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. He isn't a scout, or if he's a scout for us, I did not know that. I do not think he's a scout for us. He may have some sort of sway with Czech players.
Yeah.
But I don't remember too many Czech players before these two guys, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, he is Czech. He's a right back. Yeah, Matthew in the chats just said Vladimir Kufal is his name. Don't know too much about him. Got him for £6 million pounds, or £5.5 million pounds. So we'll see. We were in desperate need of defensive reinforcements, especially given we've been playing a 3 at the back system against Arsenal and Wolves that has worked pretty well. But obviously, 3 at the back means you need an extra center back, which means that the depth at the position is even more important, not only at the center back, but at the fullback positions as well. So we've desperately needed more of a left back, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But honestly, and at this point, any defensive reinforcement would have helped.
So do you see your weaknesses in defence more than attack? Do you think you need to strengthen up your defence?
Yeah, I think absolutely, absolutely. We have, in my opinion, we have really only one left back on the roster, and that's Aaron Cresswell. Arthur Masuaku is listed as a left back and has played there, but he's more suited for a wing back and even more of a left midfielder role. If I'm being honest, I mean his defense is atrocious. He's not a defender, but he's really good with the ball at his feet moving forward. So a left back, desperate need of a left back, probably another center back. With this signing, we're good at right back. But yeah, defensively, we gave up, I think, 4th most goals last season. And it's been an issue for us for quite some time. So yeah, defensively, absolutely, is our weak spot without a doubt.
What happened to the lad you sold to West Brom? I thought he was the next big thing. Diagami. I can't pronounce his name.
Diagami. You got it. You got it.
And
Diagami, yeah.
He was there last year on loan, wasn't he? And then you let him go this year on permanent. Why did you let him go? Because he looks fantastic when he played us.
I mean, that's the question we were all asking, and that was one of the big tipping points for us when it came to our relationship with our board and our owners. It was sort of just like, why the hell are we selling our best winger? And we don't know. The only answer that makes any sort of sense is money. Supposedly David Sullivan and company don't have any. I don't know how that's really possible, given that we are, when it comes to riches, I mean, we're one of the richest football clubs in the world, top 20 in the world, and supposedly we have no money, while you have Aston Villa spending all this money and even Fulham I mean, I just don't know. I don't know.
See, I think with COVID and stuff like that, a lot of people are going to suffer, and a lot of the businesses are going to suffer, and especially our owners. I mean, as you can see, our owners are King Power, which is a duty-free company in Thailand. They're multi-millionaires, but just think of the amount of money. So the amount of money they're going to lose this year because no one's flying, no one's buying duty-free. So I don't think there's that much money. I'm surprised that we've spent 55 million even this. I thought we might have spent like 30-40 million on like 2 or 3 players, maybe 4 players to get them in, and maybe a couple of loans. But to spend that much money, so there is still money about, but I don't think in the long run we won't see big. The last, how many days is there left? 3 days of the transfer window. We won't see many big more signings now. So I just don't think the money's about how it used to be be honest.
I mean, and fair enough. I definitely understand that, but this was our first. Technically our second signing, because we signed Suchek permanently this summer. So I'll give him that. But, again, we were supposed to move to this world-class stadium to be a world-class team. And that's a quote from our chairman. And it just hasn't really happened. We left our spiritual home for just more mediocrity.
Does everyone get a pair of binoculars when they go into the ground so they can see? It looks an awful long way away.
And I've been to the stadium once. In some parts of the stadium, it is a far distance, especially in the upper deck there. Absolutely, it's not a footballing ground. It's not. It's an athletic stadium. It's built like an athletic stadium. It's circular. The stands are, miles away from the pitch. It's the atmosphere. I'll say when you're in the lower bowl, it can get a little loud, but it's nowhere near what the Bowl-In was. I mean, the Bowl-In was, the fans were right on top of you, hostile, intimidating. I mean, I think personally, playing at the Bowl-In gave West Ham an additional 5 to 7 points every year, just from a home field advantage. So that's why I think a lot of fans are upset, Jamie, is because West Ham have never been the biggest club, like in terms of the most successful club, but we left our spiritual home with the promise of that, and it's just that promise hasn't been delivered.
Just going on about the crowd. One of the questions that we ask quite a lot of people is, the ground is, has the crowd made a huge difference in not being there? Do you think? I mean, what's it like in the States? Are some crowd allowed back in, or is it like totally no at the minute in America?
So there are some states that are allowing, because in America, the individual states have a lot of rights, and so there are some states, mainly down south, who happen to be the states that are a little less, they're a little more lax with their COVID rules. They are allowing some fans, albeit at a very limited capacity. But for example, here in Chicago, Major League Baseball playoffs are happening today in the city, and there are no fans, and that's the majority of sporting events.
Go on.
I was just going to say, when it comes to West Ham, obviously I haven't, I haven't been there. So, but from what it looks like on the television, I'm not 100% sure it's affecting us all that much for two reasons. One, I think that there was always a lack of atmosphere in that stadium to begin with. Unless we were really rocking and rolling and really playing well, it was really hard to get an atmosphere going. And secondly, I personally think the atmosphere would have been so negative and so hostile given, the sale in Diangana and just the agitation, frustration, and anger towards the board. I think the players would have potentially felt that, and it would have negatively affected their play. I can't wait to see fans back in there, but I don't know from a West Ham perspective if it is really negatively affecting us all that much.
See, I think at Leicester it is, because especially away games, away fans seem to drive us on a lot more. The home side, it can be a bit quiet at the King Power sometimes, but they do drive us on, and we like having the fans behind us, and being no fans is difficult. I think we found that in the restart. So when we were, before the first game this time against West Brom, we were thinking, oh God, what's going to happen? West Brom come up for the Premiership, come up from the Championship into the Premiership, and we thought this is going to be a tough game. And it wasn't. It was pretty damn easy, that was. And then we thought, oh, the Burnley home game is where we struggled last year with the home fixtures with no crowd. We were struggling with no crowd. And we beat them 4-2. And then we go to Man City and we beat them 5-2. And I think the advantage had now gone for the home team, to be honest, with having no fans there.
Yeah.
Because most of the fans, it's 90% of the ground is home fans, and the 10% is the away fans. Now that advantage has gone for the home team, because there's a stat, you probably wouldn't have heard this stat. Last week in the four divisions in England, the Premiership, the Championship, and 1 and 2, there were 36 games played. There was only 8 home wins.
Wow.
And there was 15. There was not 15. Was it 15? 15 away wins. So there was nearly double the amount of away wins, where normally you don't get many away wins. So over in the UK, it's a big difference. The crowd is making a huge difference, I think.
And this match coming up, it's going to be played at the King Power, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is normal, no change, no nothing. Still, all the different. They have different zones where the players and officials are in the red zone. The behind room staff at the club are in a green zone, and and you can't cross over unless you've got. So there's no passing anything over or anything like that. So they're doing it well. They're doing it as best as they can do, but it's just. Well, I normally go back, like I say at the beginning, that I live in Mallorca. I normally go back in the November and the February for a game, and it's fantastic. The atmosphere is brilliant before the game, having a chat with people. I haven't said, but we won't be going back now. It's not worth it because you can't go to the games. So unfortunately, but as soon as fans are back in, I'm going back. Simple as, not a problem.
Are you hearing anything over there in terms of when they think fans will be back?
They keep changing it. In the UK, they were doing a couple of the weekend before last, they were doing some tests, allowing 1,000 to 1,500 people in lower league football, League One and League Two, because they're the ones that are going to struggle. The ones that were going to struggle are all the lower teams.
Yeah.
Like I say, League One and League Two. They thrive on match day revenue and season tickets, and they're losing out big time. And then all of a sudden, over the last week or so, this spike's hit in the old cases, and they've cancelled it now. And they've Boris, in his wisdom, has said it probably won't be for another 6 months.
Yeah.
But you can still go in. You can still go to a museum. You can go to a theatre. You can go to the cinema, but you can't go to a football ground. But you can go to a pub and have a drink with 10 of your mates. But you can't go where you're in a confined space, where you're in a big ground, where you could have a quarter capacity, 25% capacity, and you'd be safe. Where you can go in a pub, you can still go in a pub and have a drink and be. So it's the rules over in the UK a little bit, but as soon as fans come back in, the atmosphere will come back, the players will start playing, and we'll be up and running again. Hopefully, touch wood.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day. I can't wait to go back. I was planning on making a trip next year to London, and I still plan on doing that. It'll probably have to be later in the year, but yeah, I can't wait. It's the reason why I love soccer so much is it's so unique in terms of the sporting world. Just fans are important to every sport, but for soccer, it's just that extra, it's just without fans, there is no football at all. The culture, sometimes the politics that get involved between rivalries and teams, the ideologies at times, that's why I love it. And
I mean,
yep.
You think football is probably the lowest scoring sport out there? If you think of like basketball, cricket, baseball, rugby, netball, golf, you name it, but people enjoy it, and the thrill of that goal going in, even though you might only see one goal, you're so excited to be at the ground. It might be a 1-0 win, but people enjoy it, even though it's probably the lowest scoring sport out there. There might be, off the top of my head, I can't think of many more lower scoring. I mean, there's not many games you can get 0-0, is there? How many times have you seen that in American football? You don't see it many times, do you?
No, never, never, not at all.
But it's just the enjoyment, the excitement of going there. It's okay watching it on TV, but it's not the same, is it? To actually be in there, have a couple of pints with your mates, something to eat, go and watch the game. In the olden days, it was watch the game, have a fight, and then go home. But now you can't do that now. You're not allowed, are you?
What I would have given to go to some of those old school games back in the day.
When I started going, it was you had to be. When I first started going, I was only 7 or 8, and I went with my dad and then my mum a bit later. And you had to be careful where you went, even though at Leicester there was still people about, so you have to be careful. But now it's a bit more safer now. You still get the odd bit of trouble, but nothing major, to be honest. Now.
Yeah, they really cracked down over there for sure.
But
yeah, Jamie, we'll wrap this up. I really appreciate you coming on. Before
hold on a minute, hold on. What the score?
Oh no, absolutely. I was just about to say before we.
I thought you were letting me go without saying.
Oh no, absolutely. Of course, we have to do some match predictions. We're gonna wrap it up, but of course, before we go, we need to get the scores. And I always let the guests go first. So, Jamie, what do you got for
3-0? 3-0 to Leicester.
No hesitation either. Just 3-0. Okay. So I think I do think Leicester will win. I've been going back and forth. I do think it will be. I think the Kufal signing will give us a little bit of a boost. Just something positive happened to the club for the first time in months. We obviously had a very good performance against a good Wolves side. So I think we're going to give you guys a go. I think it'll be tough. I'm going to go out on a limb here, actually. You know what? My heart says draw. My mind says Leicester win. I'm going to go Leicester win. I think it will be very tough. I think Leicester will win at the death, to be honest.
Oh, we had it was Turfcast podcast, Burnley fans on 2 weeks ago, and I asked him the same question like you last thing, and he went 3-1 Leicester. That's what he said, 3-1 Leicester, without even thinking about it.
Wow.
I was quite surprised at that, but anyway.
I'm not going 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 Leicester.
Nearly sitting on the fence then.
Yeah, I do think it'll be 1-1 for a while. I think you guys will get an early goal. You guys always seem to get an early goal against us, and then
against you,
yeah. Then we'll nick one in the second half, and I think you guys will win it at the death. Unfortunately, I think we'll come away disappointed.
I couldn't do that 1-1 into the last few minutes. No, thank you. I couldn't do that.
I do think it will be a close game. I think it'll be a good game, but I do think we'll be up for it. I really do, especially given the result that we had against Wolves. Our first team. They look like they're gelling a bit. Hopefully we stick with the 3 at the back system. I think that's been working well for us. But so 3-1. Oh, you said 3-1, right?
No, 3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Because I always tweet it out. 3-0 for Jamie. I have 2-1.
Putting me right on the spot there. You are.
Oh yeah, I blast it out for the public, for the world to see. So, but yeah, Jamie, really appreciate you coming on.
Cheers, pal. Just before I go.
Yeah.
Just before I go, if there's any Leicester fans in America watching us, please follow us on Leicester Fan TV. It's the same on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's just Leicester Fan TV, all one word. And then if you fancy a bit of a laugh and a joke with me, please follow me at the Fox's Arms on Twitter and Instagram.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamie. Thank you again very much. It was really nice to meet you. Definitely would love to do this. Definitely would love to do this for the reverse fixture as well.
We can bring you on anytime you want, as long as you're not working.
Honestly, I can move my work schedule around for you guys. Absolutely, anytime you guys need a West Ham fan
perspective,
I'm definitely free. Yeah, absolutely.
Rightio.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Jamie.
Cheers,
really
Justin.
appreciate
Thank
the
you.
time.
Not a problem.